Johnny, you were telling me that you had something else to talk about, some new movie coming out.
Oh, yeah. On top of getting ready for my brothers to come out, which is really exciting, and here towards the beginning of August in our Fiesta party, which is really exciting for me. A few things have happened. There's a new movie coming out that I'd like for everybody to see, and it's called Gleason, and it's about a young man. He was a football player for the New Orleans Saints, and if anybody remembers it, he was the guy that blocked a punt. This was right after Katrina, and the city of New Orleans was reeling. They were getting ready to take the team and move the team, et cetera, et cetera. They decided to leave the New Orleans Saints there, and this young player made a big play. It was a blocked punt, and he became legendary. Well, after his kind of glory play, which is really cool, and I identify with this guy because I've 35 years in organized football as either a coach or a player in college, et cetera, et cetera. In regards to this courageous man and courageous new wife, is that the path that he is on, the path that they are on as a family, is different than my path. I was given a different job by the universe or by God or by whomever. Gleason fell in love, got married, and they've decided to have a baby. And his one of his many taglines is that his future is greater than his past, because his whole reason of living is to raise and be there for his child and his wife, which is awesome. Absolutely. Which I just, it does bring tears to my eyes. However, my path is different. I don't have children. I've never been married, and for right or wrong, good, bad, or indifferent, my path has been different. Now, Mr. Gleason, the young football player who has ALS, he's been on a long, hard road. He's in a wheelchair. He did the ice bucket challenge. He has a breathing tube, et cetera, et cetera. I've chosen not to go that way. I'm trying to spread the gospel, as he is, to try to tell as many people about this insidious disease, ALS, and how it affects us physically, emotionally, spiritually, how it affects the people around us, the peripheral damage of family and friends, what it does to the community, the small community of those people dear around us. So when someone asked me, and I read a little blurb from what Gleason said. He said, I love this guy because he's able to put it into words. It's like, he hates it when people say, hey, hang in there, you're a fighter, you're tough. And he's saying, like, man, don't say hang in there. That's hang in there is for, greeting cards. I know that people are trying to give me encouragement, and they don't know what to say, but there's nothing to say. The things I would rather have is ask me about, John, what is ALS? How does it affect you? How did you get it? Are there reasons? Are there cures? In other words, the mechanics of it. It frustrates me because I hear it every day. Hey, Johnny, fight the good fight. We're going to find a cure for this. We're going to get through this. Hang in there, it's total boulder dash. There is no getting out of this. There is no hanging on. Hanging on, I'm not complaining. I'm just talking about the different paths that we as ALS patients have are different. His is wonderful, the football player Gleason. His is wonderful in his track, in his path of that he has a family to live for. Mine is different. Mine is a little more private, although private, and we're here on social media, so how private could that be?
Yeah, Johnny.
But I've let I've let you and the camera into my privacy, and by default or by design, I've become the fat face of the company, so to speak, in Santa Barbara. So, bottom line, in closing, I encourage everyone to try to see this movie. It's worth seeing. It's heart-wrenching. It's inspiring. It's reality, and it's truthful. Are we different soldiers in the same battle? We're soldiers in the same battle, but we're different. And what makes the difference is that I don't want to go anywhere. I've said this before. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I love life. I just don't want to live this way. If I had a child, if I had a wife, I would stay on earth as long as I possibly could, artificial or not. But that's not the path that's been chosen for me. And my true path is still being ironed out and worked on. So I guess as we like to conclude, that's about all I have to say about that.
Yeah, Johnny.
Actually,
and if I could just add one thing to it, it's it's this, that you mentioned him having like kind of a wonderful purpose, and I think what you've chosen to do with it, while your past might be different, while you might be in the same battle but fighting, going different paths, I think you're making a wonderful contribution out there as well.
I hope so.
I think
I hope
that
so.
Just some of the things I've seen people write, some of the emails that have shared, you're bringing awareness, you're making a difference. And I think also to echo, his path, his purpose is one thing. You've started out with the intention of, what is it, fitting that wine bucket into a bottle or whatever the heck it is you say.
We call, let me correct you there. It's a wine barrel of life fitting into a baby bottle of living.
Yeah.
So in other words, there's
with dignity
and living with and quality of life.
Absolutely. And I
living
think
with quality of life.
I've seen you consistently strive to do that. I appreciate that you don't bullshit too about it. I think there needs to be a transparency with it too. Like
thank you.
It doesn't do anybody any good watching to sit here and think, things are wonderful when it's not wonderful.
No, it's not wonderful. It's not wonderful.
But in the same thing, there's a realism, but you express that realism, but then also talk about the things that you look forward to, the fiesta party, the trips, going to lunch with the friends, those types of things.
Yeah, that's so. And in conclusion here, if nothing else, people will learn more about what ALS is, what it does, how rare it is, how little research is going into it, how there are no cures, there are no exercises, there are no massages, there's nothing. So now, and we've always said this, is that I have a choice. I can live as large as I can with a great attitude, or I can be pissed off, or I can run away from it. And I've chosen to try to live with as best I can and share my story, that day-to-day story, with as many people as I can.
That's awesome, Johnny. Everybody, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.